The scream tore through Willow Creek Estates like a blade, shattering the dawn's fragile calm. It wasn't the kind of sound you'd expect in a retirement community where the biggest dramas usually involved overgrown hedges or misplaced recycling bins. Ellen Harper froze mid-sip of her morning coffee, the mug slipping from her fingers as she bolted out the door, her slippers skidding on the dew-slick pavement. Her heart pounded as she sprinted toward the clubhouse, dread clawing at her chest. A small crowd had already gathered, their faces pale, eyes wide with shock. There, crumpled on the sidewalk, was her father, Samuel Carter, his cane discarded, one hand clutching his chest as if trying to cage his faltering heart. "Get the defibrillator," Ellen shouted, dropping to her knees beside him, her fingers fumbling for a pulse. But the wall where the red cabinet once hung was bare, just a discolored patch and a few rusty screw holes staring back like a cruel taunt. The machine was gone, and with it, Samuel's best shot at Sir V.Y. Val. 2 years earlier, Willow Creek had seemed like a haven. Ellen and Samuel had toured the development on a golden afternoon, sunlight weaving through sycamore branches to dapple the pristine lawns. The model home gleamed with polished counters and plush carpets, and the sales agent, a woman named Carla with a too-bright smile, had spun a VY shown of perfect retirement. "We've got it all," she'd boasted. Book clubs, a heated pool, even a little theater group. And safety? Top. Notch 24-hour security and defibrillators everywhere. "You'll never worry here." That last promise had hooked Samuel. A mild heart attack 3 years prior had left him cautious, his cardiologist's warnings echoing in his mind. Ellen remembered the relief in his eyes as he'd squeezed her hand and said, "This is the place, Ellie. I can breathe here." They'd signed the papers that week, trusting the glossy brochures and Carla's polished pitch, blind to the fault lines already lurking beneath the community's flawless surface. At first, Willow Creek delivered. Samuel settled into a tidy bungalow overlooking the Rose Garden, joining the bocce league and trading stories with neighbors like Martin, a gruff ex-mechanic with a thermos of black coffee always in hand, and Clara, a retired nurse who knitted scarves for everyone at Christmas. Ellen, VYing a town over, VY sighted often, charmed by the neighborhood's rhythm morning walks, potluck suppers, the clink of glasses at socials. The Homeowners Association ran things smoothly, their quarterly meetings unfolding in the clubhouse with lemonade and neat agendas about pool upgrades or new streetlights. Ellen barely skimmed the budget reports, assuming the HOA's safety promises were rock solid. The defibrillators, housed in bright red cabinets near the gym, pool, and clubhouse, stood like silent sentinels, reassuring her every time she saw them. But change crept in quietly. 6 months ago, the HOA board had shifted. The new president, Vi Holt, a former CFO with a razor-sharp gaze, swept in with a mission to slash costs. Her early moves cheaper landscaping, fewer holiday lights seemed minor. Then Ellen caught whispers at a barbecue, murmurs about maintenance fees and those machines. Martin pulled her aside one evening, his voice low. "VY's eyeing the defibrillators," he said. "Says they cost too much to keep up. Thinks 911's enough." Ellen's stomach twisted, but she brushed it off. They wouldn't dare remove something so VY, tell not in a place built for people like her father, whose heart could turn traitor without warning. The truth emerged in fragments. One day, the defibrillator by the tennis courts vanished, replaced by a bland safety poster. A week later, the poolside unit was gone too. At the next HOA meeting, Ellen demanded answers. "What's happening to the defibrillators?" VYN's reply was smooth, practiced. "We're reviewing usage to optimize resources. No cause for concern." Some residents nodded, lulled by her confidence, but Clara wasn't swayed. "What if someone collapses?" she asked, her knitting needles still. "Paramédic arrêté un instant." "Those machines are." VYN smile tightened. "We're exploring options, including insurance adjustments. Trust us." Ellen left uneasy, her father's frail frame flashing in her mind. She tried discussing it with Samuel, but he waved her off, ever optimistic. "They'll sort it, Ellie. Always do. The removals continued, silent and unannounced. No votes, no notices, just empty walls where lifesavers once hung. Ellen checked the remaining stations obsessively, her unease growing with each missing cabinet. She cornered Ted, a soft-spoken board member who'd always seemed fair. He avoided her gaze, muttering, "It wasn't my call." Vivian pushed it through, said the contracts were killing us. When Ellen pressed, he clammed up, as if scared of saying more. The HOA's newsletters, once full of safety updates, now gushed about bake sales and yoga classes, as if erasing the machines from memory. Samuel's health was slipping too. He'd always been stubborn, refusing to let his condition cage him, but Ellen saw the signs: shorter walks, or breaths. His cardiologist was blunt. "Stress is poison, Sam. Rest, and don't be alone if you're off." Ellen started staying over, sleeping on his couch, her phone always charged. She told herself the HOA would rethink things, that Willow Creek would stay the sanctuary they'd chosen. But doubt gnawed at her, a sense of betrayal taking root. That morning, everything broke. Ellen had been pouring coffee when the scream ripped through the house. She reached Samuel just as the awful truth hit: no defibrillator, no help, just shocked neighbors staring. She started CPR, her hands shaking as she pressed his chest, whispering, "Hold on, Dad." Diane, a retired teacher, knelt beside her, relaying updates to 911. "They're coming," she said, but the words rang empty. The ambulance was miles away, and every second without a shock was a second Samuel faded. When the paramedics arrived, they moved fast: shouts, equipment, the beep of a portable AED. They shocked Samuel's heart twice, coaxing a weak pulse. Ellen rode with him to the hospital, gripping his hand as sirens wailed her fear. The cardiologist was grim. "He's stable," but the delay hurt his heart. "The next few days are critical." Ellen nodded, guilt and rage churning. A defibrillator could have saved those minutes. Instead, her father fought for life in a sterile bed, betrayed by a community that had promised to protect him. Willow Creek erupted. Neighbors flooded Ellen's phone with messages: sorry, angry, scared. Martin called, fuming. Vivian's budget games did this. They played with our lives. Clara rallied others to demand answers, her warmth now steel. Even Ted reached out, guilt-ridden. "I should have fought harder," he said. "We knew it was wrong." A local reporter cornered Ellen outside the hospital. She hesitated, focused on Samuel, but her anger spilled out. "My father collapsed, and there was no defibrillator," she told the camera. "The HOA chose money over lives. That's why he's fighting now." The interview aired, sparking outrage. Residents, once apathetic, demanded accountability. A special HOA meeting packed the clubhouse, the air thick with tension. Vivian took the stage, her poise cracking under hostile stares. "We made a tough call based on data," she started, clutching papers. "Maintenance was unsustainable, and paramedics." Martin cut her off, slamming his thermos down. "Unsustainable. Sam almost died because of you." The room roared, voices piling on. Ellen stood, her heart racing but her voice steady. "This isn't about numbers. It's about my father, about all of us who trusted you. You broke that trust." Claire spoke next, her words sharp. "I was a nurse 30 years. Those machines save lives. You cut our lifelines." Ted admitted the vote was close, that he'd opposed the removals but was overruled. The crowd gasped, then surged, calling for a recall to oust Vivian's board. The meeting was chaos, but it shifted something. Residents united, Ellen at their core, turning fear into action. She gathered signatures, knocked on doors, shared Samuel's story. Neighbors listened, their own fears stirred. "What if it's me next?" one asked, trembling. The community's pull strengthened, a shared resolve to reclaim their safety. In the hospital, Samuel fought on. Ellen sat by him nightly, reading campaign updates, hoping he heard. "They're fighting for you, Dad," she'd whisper, holding his hand. Doctors warned of lasting damage, but Samuel's grip tightened faintly, his spirit stubborn. Ellen clung to that, letting it fuel her. The recall vote came on a cold November night, the clubhouse brimming. Ballots were counted under scrutiny, and when results broke VYN and Eliza out, Clara and Ted Inacheer erupted. The new board moved fast, voting to restore defibrillators, signing an emergency contract with a supplier. Ellen's eyes stung with relief, a step toward justice. Weeks later, Samuel came home. The drive to Willow Creek was quiet, bare trees lining frosty streets. Neighbors greeted them with hugs and a banner, Clara's lemon bars on offer. New defibrillators arrived soon after, red cabinets gleaming at every corner. Ellen and Martin trained as volunteers, teaching others to use them, ensuring no one faced what they had. One crisp morning, Ellen walked Samuel by the clubhouse, his cane tapping softly. They paused at a new defibrillator, its presence a quiet VY Tory. "Could have saved me," Samuel murmured. "Ellen needed sråtert." "It'll save someone else," she said, touching his arm. He smiled faintly, and they stood together, the weight of their fight easing into peace. Willow Creek wasn't flawless, but it was there's a place where safety was now a promise kept, forged in struggle and served VY Val. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.